Ben here, back out by the sawmill. Now, yesterday I went through and I planed a bunch of boards down. You see behind me here, there's a bunch of sawdust. Now the sawdust on this side over here is all pine, and you can see the color difference right through here. Stuff on this side over here is all maple. It's pretty good looking stuff. This is all out of planing. That's all maple. You can see that nice color in that. Now I went through and I planed up a bunch of boards, and I didn't really have a distinct plan for them. It was just something that, you know, I got this lumber out here drying for a while, and it's getting to the point now where I'm ready to use it for something. So I planed a bunch of it up. And you know how it is, sometimes you get these wacky ideas in your head. Well, my brother's got one of these wacky ideas, and hey, I'm game, let's go for it. He called me, he said, "What are you doing with all this lumber?" And I said, "Well, I don't really have a plan for it." He said, "Well, he wants to make some cutting boards." So, making some cutting boards, he said, "Do we have any other lumber that we could use to put together with it?" And I said, "Well, there's some nice red oak out there." So he planed up a bunch of red oak. There's a sawdust pile from that. You can see the color in this stuff. You can see how red that is compared to the maple. And now normally when you make a cutting board, you take a board and you rip it down to sizes about like this, and you put them together and you glue them together and you make a cutting board. Pretty simple stuff, right? Done that before. Well, here's a couple of red oak boards that he planed down. Really nice looking boards. And then here's a couple of the maple boards that I planed down. You can see the color difference in them. Okay, just for comparison. Now, I did, I don't know how many boards. There's a pretty good stack of lumber there. And he just did probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 oak boards. And he decided we're going to make a massive pile of cutting boards. So what he did was, and I said it's a crazy idea, and I don't know how it's going to work out, but went and glued every other board here is oak and walnut. Or I'm sorry, oak and maple. So you got maple oak, 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 all the way through the stack. And that's full width 6-inch boards. So now, instead of doing a couple of little boards at one time, you got this whole massive stack of lumber all glued together. So this is one big pile of cutting boards. So now the question is, how would you cut this down? Usually you strip it on the table saw. Well, you're not going to strip this on the table saw. Crazy ideas, like I said. We're going to try to put this on the sawmill and strip it down 1.5 inches thick and just go down through and make 1.5 inch cuts. And that'll make basically a cutting board. And we'll do full length and then cross cut them on the table saw. And then that should get us, I'm guessing if we do 1.5 inch thick cutting boards, 6-inch wide, that's four wide, and this is about 5 foot long boards. So if the cutting boards are a foot long, that should get us 20 cutting boards. 20 cutting boards at one time. Like I said, a little bit of a crazy idea. I've never done this before, so this is something just crazy to try, I guess, you know. And hey, we got the lumber, we got the tools to do it, so we're gonna give it a whirl and see what it does. So I'm gonna go put this stack on the sawmill, and we'll see how it goes cutting it down. We'll see what it looks like. Alright, now I got these boards out here on the sawmill. I'll show you what it looks like sitting on the sawmill. Now this is just, to me this is kind of a crazy idea. I don't know, it's so crazy it might work. radical things I've done in the sawmill yet. And I'll tell you what, it looks like it's going to work out really great. I'd like to see you do that with a table saw, huh? Well, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure how this was going to work out, but it came out a whole lot better than what I had imagined it would have. Look at that. Now all I gotta do is cross cut them down and they are good to go. Run them through the planer or sand them a little bit and sand them, route them, whatever you want to do with them. But man, look at that. I wasn't sure about using oak, but I'll tell you, that red oak with that white maple really pops. Looks good. Well, that sure beats doing it on the table saw, one little strip at a time, and then trying to glue them together and do it that way. I think doing them in a pile like that, glue all the things together and put them on a sawmill, I really wasn't sure what to think of the idea, but now that it's done, I think it worked really well. You know, I'm surprised. You imagine how much time that saved? Instead of running that through the table saw, that would have taken me forever on the table saw. It would have taken half a day to do that. I just did it in 5 minutes under on the sawmill. So, you know, I don't know too many people out there. I know a lot of people out there that have sawmills. Not too many people out there who say they cut maple and oak at the same time. That's just something. I really like that. Turned out really well. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.